Hold on, bear with me.
Bear with you, I will. I'll bear with you.
So what's the bear story? We need to find the rest of the listeners so that we can bear through this.
Yeah, it's harder than I'm going to tell twice. It's a heavy burden to bear.
Well, they're not very light, that's for sure. What are we going to do with all this water?
You mean from the rain?
No, from the bad well.
I don't know. I mean, somebody's got to invent a way to clean it. But that's just the problem with the forever chemicals. They don't know how to get that part out of the water.
Or they're just playing it up that way. That way they can have their little friend's company come in and charge the city millions of dollars, and they can launder some money.
I don't know if that's true, because I mean, like, what they're going to do, like with the one in Kenwood, is they're just going to close it down.
Well, maybe they think it's a localized contamination, but I kind of think that if that stuff is all the way around this area and it's nowhere near that manufacturing place, it must be all the way in the entire water table.
Maybe that's why people are so goofy in Prescott Valley.
I finally figured it out.
That's why they drive so aggressively.
I knew it was something in the water.
All right, I'm back. I heard you, John. What's the bear story?
Well, last week I'm working on a trail by myself, so there's not a big crew or anything, and I'm doing our tread work, the shovels and pick, and I'm moving dirt around, putting greens in, and two ladies go walking by, and I say hi, whatever, blah, they go by, and then the second group of ladies goes by, and then like an hour later, one of the group of ladies comes out, and about 20 minutes after that, I hear, two women, and they're all hooting and yelling and making weird noises and stuff, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I guess wilderness means something different to everybody, right? And they're just carrying them on or whatever, and I get tired, so I stop working, and they come walking up, and I go, oh, did you hear us yell? I'm like, yeah, I did, like, they're like 75 feet away, and the trail makes a bunch of bends right there, and a lot of brush, so you can't really see up the trail, and they go, oh, we heard there, and I'm like, really? I go, I don't think so. I've been here the whole time, and there's no bears around here. They go, no, it was a bear. We heard it snorting and stuff. I'm like, well, if it was me, I get sweaty and do the old farmer, blow your nose thing. I don't use a handkerchief. I just put one hand up there and blow. And no, that wasn't it. It was a bear, and it was kind of making this puffing noise, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I walk on down the trail and kind of, get up from my break and pick my shovel up and grab a shovel full of gravel and realize that, a shovel sliding through gravel kind of makes a huffing noise, and they heard me shoveling, and that's what the bear was. And I just was like, after they went up and going, oh, that was hysterical.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I could see that.
The two ladies up there yelling, making, war calls, and, that was hysterical.
Well, that's what they should do.
I guess it's good they didn't pepper spray me.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you're shoveling sounded to them like bears?
Yeah, he's shoveling dirt and then throwing it. They thought it was a bear.
Next time you're dealing with that gravel and you grab a shovelful and you slide it into the gravel, kind of listen to it. It kind of it kind of sounds like an animal, snorting or something. It kind of does. I think I'm sleepy. I may go to bed early tonight. Oh, I used to go home, but I had.
Hello, Dave. Did you get the talk to TK tonight?
No, but I talked to Terry and I got it all worked out.
Okay. Let's see here what we got. Let's turn this radio off. Put in this band. I like to leave the fan on. This thing's been on transmit. That's what I hate about these. I was like wondering why I couldn't change.
So what are you up to tonight, Ed?
Not too much. We remodeled our house a little bit here. I've been hanging pictures back on the wall where my wife wants to move them around.
Have you talked to Alan this morning?
No, I did not. I think he's traveling today, or was traveling. Probably at the campground tonight, saw love. Hope he's feeling better.
Why, he wasn't feeling well?
Yeah, he had COVID.
Let's just stop
Are
by.
you serious?
Yeah, he got COVID anyway. He said he tested for COVID. Anytime he had flu in the last 5 years, he'll be tested for COVID.
He got COVID while he was up there?
That's what he told us.
Oh, so is he taking anything
No
like
narrow or
ivermectin
wide. I
or
wonder
what?
if that's normal.
Well, on the echo link, he didn't think he ought to take that ivermectin. And then later on, who was it? One of the guys sent him a link to a website, and so I guess he ran it and decided to take it.
Well, if he gets it, his wife will probably get it. But also, maybe he has to be quarantined from the other people, right?
Now he's doing self-quarantine. He's not going on any of the side trips.
What about his wife?
Well, she's been cautiously doing things, so
That's 7.
I haven't heard any more than that.
Wow, that's a bummer, huh?
Yeah.
The Canadians won't let him back in. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, but how will they know that he has it? People talking about it on the radio. Oh, okay, we better not talk about it then. Don't make him take his test.
Let's see if there's a difference in my receive, maybe. If I can find the connector back here again.
I'll be right back.
W7WR.
Well, you got to take a test, I'm sure. And
20 over on
that was
this.
2 years ago on the Wi-Fi.
5 mine on here.
A year ago.
What was the test for? I wasn't paying attention.
COVID.
What?
The COVID.
Oh, okay. You guys are talking about COVID.
Coronavirus.
I had it like, 4 times?
Had Peter McCullough on his show today talking about it. Boy, that's really interesting.
Wait till you get RSV. That's way worse, at least it was for me.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the receiver's down on this. It's usable.
Yeah, no, I guess E or R E S.
No, none. Took my stepmom out. Gosh, it was like 3 weeks. She wasn't gonna make it there for a while.
It's pretty serious.
Well,
I don't like this adapter on the end of here. I'm gonna pull it off. The Kenwood tucked the antenna connector so far in the back of these damn things. This is not even funny. So I'll have to put these on there, but I don't know.
I did. It already expired though by the time I got a chance to.
what did it sell for?
Couldn't tell. It was gone. There was no history on it.
Yeah, I think Mike said $2,000 or $2,500.
Oh my god, what the hell?
I'd be interested to know if it had the title and everything for it. I didn't see it on the, talking about that.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him if you talk to him. But I think he said, did you send that to John? I said, yeah, I did. He said I think he said $2,500. I don't really remember though. And I don't know anything about the title or any other information other than it was used by a maintenance company. That's it.
Yeah, they may have never imported it with a title, which, in my opinion, makes it worth very little.
That may be true. Evidently, if you're going like 25, 30 miles an hour and you slam on the brakes, that thing will do an endo.
Oh, I've got one, and it will not do that.
Well, I just watched some videos of those. Some guys were out screwing around, and they were, just go. I don't know how fast, but it seemed like maybe between 20 and 30 miles an hour. And the guy was just slamming the brake, and it would go all the way up to the front bumper with the ass end in the air. A pickup style, the flatbed like yours.
Right.
Boy, people really modify those. I kind of fell down a rabbit hole of looking at them. They changed the wheels and tires, they changed the engine, I mean, on and on and on.
Yeah, the engine change-outs, that's pretty extensive. It's not off-the-shelf parts or this and that. It's, people are doing it, but it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, there's some other larger engine that goes in there fairly easy.
Well, they have a 1,000cc engine in some countries, but you get your hands on those, if you can find them, they're not outrageous, but it's just a matter of finding them.
Yeah.
And it's only for certain years, and you want to look at some funny pictures, look at the Honda. Honda made it, and they made a 6-wheel version of those. 2 of the wheels are inactive, but they have a second axle underneath them, and they came with tracks.
Wow. What does it do, about 45 or 50?
Well, mine will do 51, but newer ones, mine's 93, but in somewhere about 95, almost all of them went to fuel injection, with variable valves and that sort of stuff. Those guys, I talked to one guy in a parking lot. He didn't have them with him, but he was trying to, do you want a newer one of those? And he's talking to him, he had like a 2003, and he says he can get 75 out of his. He says, but, I backed it back down to like 70. He got it out on the interstate and said, I ain't doing that again.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, that's completely unsafe. You get somebody tailgating you. A semi-truck, just parks right behind you.
And that's what he said. He goes, I was out there with the semis and everything else, and he drove over to Camp Verde and got on the interstate and just went up like one exit. He goes, got on like the 260 and then went up to the Earmark exit, which is, I don't know, like 10 miles or something like that. And he goes, I ain't doing that again. But the 51 is kind of slow because even on the roads that are speed limit of 45, people start backing up behind me, and I wouldn't mind having one that would do 55 or 60. I wouldn't drive it that way very often, but yeah, it's no fun looking in your mirror and seeing 12 cars behind.
It's just ridiculous. Why don't they just go around you?
Well, the one road I do that on, and 12 is a bit of an exaggeration, but I'll get 3 or 4 cars. It's uphill, and I can't even do 45. And so it doesn't have turns and no passing lanes. They can't get around.
And just put your flashers on, because I think the law is 5 cars you have to pull over.
Yeah, and I don't get that many, and I slow down. There's one area that I do it occasionally. It's a trail that I go to. There is a passing lane there, and not a passing lane, but a passing area, and I slow down and pull the right. Almost everybody goes by me.
Yeah.
I'm really cognizant of people behind me.
So he should be about 10 over, 20 over. He's not.
I'm coming back as a downhill the whole way. And I'll do my 51, and you're kind of coming into town, and the speed limit's 45, and guess what? You can hang back there.
Yeah.
Sounds like the attenuator's on.
Yeah, those newer ones must have a whole bunch more power.
Yeah, they do. I remember seeing the specs on them, and they're still 660 cc, so they're not muscle cars, but they definitely got a little more horsepower to them.
Is that all they are? Is 650?
650. That's what they're limited to.
And they never made a turbo one?
There's a few of them out there, but again, those are pretty hard to find.
No diesels?
To my knowledge. For some reason, I'm jonesing to get one of the vans, which are the same length, they just it's a van instead. Because the 2-seater is, it's either the wife or the dog. And the dog usually wins.
Yeah. How's the dog doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, mine's sitting right here. She's got a toy. She's got a bad rash. So we just got the medicine in today, so hopefully it'll clear up tomorrow.
You had her liver function check?
Yeah, we did. This happened to us before. She gets this rash on her belly, and she starts itching. Her belly gets really red, and the vet said she's allergic to something. Well, what? We don't know. So it could be she lays in the lawn in the dirt out there. So that's probably likely, because she loves to do that. She'll lay flat and wait for birds to land, and she'll do that for an hour. So that's probably likely, but she also goes swimming all the time, so maybe that's it. And then she goes to the dog water park, and that water is not, it's not drinkable water. It's just it's a basin. So who the heck knows what's in there, right? So we don't really know what it is, but the vet put her on Apoquil, and that 100% solved it. You give her those pills, that rash clears up, and she has perfect clear skin, no issue whatsoever. So we thought we had it under control, so we stopped giving her the pills, and it immediately came back.
Well, at least you know what it is.
Well, yeah, I hate to have to give her pills the rest of her life. They're, about $100 a month for the pills. I really wish I knew, what it was, or, we've used, all kinds of different wipes and things to try to clean her, wash her, bathe her. Nothing works. But if you give her those pills, that's it. It's problem solved. 2-3 days.
what's that lotion for humans for that? I forget what it is.
Well, she's an esthetician. She's tried all that crap. She's had so many different things on this dog. It's like, are you sure that's not going to hurt the dog? Nope. Yeah, for whatever. We even tried Benadryl. We got some Benadryl, gave her that. Didn't do anything, John. It was just as red. It's like hives. That's what it looks like, hives.
Oh, that's serious.
I think it's something out in that lawn. So she hunts birds all day, you know. She sits real flat with her belly on that lawn, and she waits for birds to land, and then tries to hunt them, you know, get them. And that just makes the most logical sense.
If you'd be willing to lay out there and line on your belly without a shirt on and see what happens so you can tell what it is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'd probably break out in hives.
So Mike's the one with the tube, the 6E or the E6 tube.
6LQ6s, yeah, he has a bunch of those. Just asking for some, and I'm pretty sure I have two of them. So you're welcome to have the two that I have. If you want tomorrow, I'll dig them out of there. I think they're in my tube caddy.
Yeah, don't ship them or anything like that. And I don't. Yeah, two is I just wanted a full set as a spare.
Well, I know for sure Mike has those. Just ask him for some.
You run that amp with short term with just one tube in there?
Generally, no. The first issue you might encounter is I don't know how the filaments are wired. A lot of the times it's parallel filaments, and so those are 6-volt tubes. So it's 6 volts per tube. They're in parallel. If you yank one out, then the voltage goes up. It's not exactly 6 because you don't have the load on there. So those filament transformers are usually sized to be at the correct voltage of exactly 6 volts, with 4 of them installed. So sometimes you can get away with it. You can pull 1 or 2 tubes out your 6 or 6.3 volts, no problem. 6.5 volts. That's okay. It's not the best thing, but you'd be okay there. Sometimes they wire up those sockets in series, and then of course that's a real problem.
Miss anything?
The other pair of
Stepped
tubes
outside and
don't
hit
light.
me.
If you pull one out,
One
the
of
other one
these.
won't light at all. So you'll have 2 dead ones.
I don't drink anything with sugar or anything
They're all
anymore.
in series, which is unlikely.
I quit
of those
drinking
two,
alcohol
so
over 8 years
if they
ago,
were,
so.
then none of them would light. You know, and so that's the first thing you.
Such
you
a
would
pretty
have to think
radio.
about.
I wish it worked
The second thing
the way
is
it's supposed to on
now
receive.
you're having 3 tubes do the work of 4.
Maybe it does, but
Right, and there's one tap, and then there's 4 wires that come off the front.
so if you listen to the radio, they sound the same on this as they do on other radios. It's just the meter. And I've went in and done an alignment on the radio, and it doesn't change. I've peaked it as high as it'll peak. It doesn't read correctly. It's attenuated by about 10 dB. So I think there's something wrong in the radio. I've spent a lot of time with this thing, and it's a very heavy radio, so it's kind of hard to, have it on its side and move it around with the covers off. And maybe somebody that really knows these radios really well would know if this is normal, or and they would also know what the solution would be. But it drives me nuts because it's also off. I've got my clarifier on, and it's only off by a little bit. It's we're at negative 0.0. If you center the clarifier, you gotta go 0, 0, and then negative. So it's like basically
like 5 minutes.
Just barely off.
Just to make sure the power doesn't fade. If it's 350 watts after 5 minutes, that's a good tube. So I'll pull that one out and I'll mark it on there.
And underneath here, there's a door.
I'll put another tube in there.
You get your Vox.
Doing that, this one's only 270.
Carrier level.
And that's it. It's 270. I can't get more out of it. So I mark that one and. Then sometimes you'll find one that's
memory bank 1, 2, 3, and 4.
But after 5 minutes, it's only doing 250.
Sub display contrast.
The tube is soft.
Calibrator on.
I mark 250 on it. Keep going.
Display.
That's how I match them here. But
100 hertz or
do that
10 hertz.
Just across the board. It just really depends on the tube and the amp.
I didn't know it would do that.
All right.
Or actually, yes, I did.
That Flagstaff M-Test, the guy had a tube tester there. It had those on there. And I'm not going to buy that device just to check tubes for 1 amp.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a couple tubes for you, and Mike will have some, so don't worry about it. We'll get you a spare set.
Well, like I said, I've got 3. All I need is 1, but I wouldn't mind going through trying to match them up.
I don't remember why I turned it off. I think it's because.
Let's see what I find out.
I wonder if it turns just as slow.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely do that. I have a TV10 tube tester over here that'll run those tubes properly with the plate cap and all that. And I know Mike does also. So they're easy to bring up there or whatever. So just remind me when next time I come up, I'll bring the tester, and if I can find those tubes, I'll bring those too, and we'll just test them all. We'll mark them, and then you can put
just leave it off. I remember why
you
not.
have in the amp,
Yeah, if I come down, I'll grab the amp and bring my tubes with it too.
KG7HR.
Why are you lower now? Just the band?
No, I'm on the other radio. It's off frequency.
Hey, you sound fine.
Oh, you mean lower in power? Because it doesn't do 200 watts, that's why.
Oh, okay. You had slightly less signals. It's plenty. I can hear you fine. I just was curious why you were lower than you were 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I hooked up to Kenwood 940. I really wish this thing would work correctly. Everybody loses 10 dB on their signal on this radio, and I've done the alignment, and no matter what I do, and I've poked around, and I can't find any other cold solder joints in it.
What radio does the 200 watts out?
The FT102.
It's got 3 6146 tubes in the radio, John. It's pretty neat.
Be a good one to take camping.
Yeah.
Oh, but like the 101s, you could run those off 12 volts, and they come. A 101 with fresh tubes puts out pretty good power too.
Yeah, 150 watts plus.
Yeah, so I mean, 150 watts is quite a bit more. And there's something about a 101 with 150 watts versus a solid state radio putting out 100, 120. It's not comparable.
Yeah.
I think it has higher average peak output, I think is what it is. Which amplifier were you guys talking about?
John's got a little amp supply amplifier that he's had for years. David gave it to him, and it's got 4 sweep tubes in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they made all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, my friend Tom actually designed that amplifier. We were talking about it a couple years ago, and he said, I really didn't want to make that amplifier, but the company basically forced me to do it. Because he really just wanted to have, stronger tubes and whatnot, but they really needed a low-cost amplifier that they could bring to market. So he designed it, and then actually people really like that thing. It just sits there and runs and runs and runs.
I had a Dentron GLA 1000B, and it ran 4 6LQ6s, and it did about 400, 500 watts, and it was a really good amplifier. Kind of really compact and had that cool green meter.
Yeah, very, very similar. But yeah, his little amp supply is small. I mean, it's very compact. It's, it just sits there on top of his tuner. I mean, it's tiny.
Yeah, like I said, there's something about this that the AMers love it for some reason.
CBers, maybe.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do AM with is some sweep tubes.
Yeah, it's the CBers. They like it.
I don't think it was CB. I thought it was 160 in AM. I thought it was, people liked it for that.
Oh, because it has 160?
Yeah.
See, most amplifiers don't have 160 because they weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to have 1,500 watts on a 160 for years and years and years. They were limited on power input actually because of aircraft. But the lower-end system was down there. So that's why you see almost all the amplifiers from 50s and 60s into the 70s, they won't have 160. Only when I think, I don't know exactly when, but sometime in the 80s they dropped it, and then manufacturers started to add 160.
I think it was about 1981.
I'll see they're on AM that just had 160 on it then.
Yeah, most ham amps don't. SB220, the Kenwood, most of those Ameritrons, they don't have them. Some models do, the later ones of course do. It's just, and then the Drakes don't have 160, the Collins don't have 160. You got to get something later to get that.
Thinking myself, it was on Craigslist in Phoenix, there was one of these that was the no-tune model for probably about 4 or 5 months on there, and I was thinking about it. I wish I would have bought it.
The LK500?
You do actually have to tune those. If you take the top cover off, there's a row of adjustable capacitors in there. So basically what you do is you set the amp up, and if you have a tuner, you would set the tuner flat, and then you would turn the amp on, and you adjust it the one time. So every band, 10 through 80 or 10 through 160, you adjust every single band. And then while doing that, you attempt to not electrocute yourself. That's the big thing. Because you can electrocute yourself doing that. But once it's tuned, then you put the cover back on it, and then it only has the one knob. So when you flip bands, you know, it should be good to go. Now, if you change your antenna system, you know, then you may have to go back in there and retune it. But that's basically the way those work. Is they have presets.
Got it.
But I mean, it's really convenient. I like it. You know, Amp Supply did that for years, John. They have amps that they made Alpha had some. Alpha made a few models that were no tune, and then Amp Supply made a bunch of them. They made one that had one 3500, two 3500s, and three 3500s in it.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, to me it makes sense, because if you were just to hit 20 meters on the radio and flip the amp in 20 meters, we could just key down and talk. Now, it might not be optimized perfectly, right? Because it's just one tuning setting for the entire band, but the amp was made to work like that. So it just, I don't know, it seems really cool, but they did that for like 3 or 4 years, and then they stopped doing it.
I thought it was Rec Radio. It's RadioWrench.com. The guys really did work up on it. I guess he, long time since I've read this, he loves them, and he does some very small modifications to them that people are, at that time, that people find really popular.
Yeah.